my 12 days of sewing Christmas gifts to give, and we are at day 12. We are going to put together one of these super easy totes that you can even take to market and take shopping with you. So let's get sewing. Today's project is going to be a super easy tote, and you are going to need the following item. You're going to need 16-inch by 32-inch piece of the main fabric of Fusible Interfacing, which I've already adhered, and lining. My main fabric was directional, so I actually had to piece it together. I cut a piece that was 16 by 16 and a half. So my 16 was going this way, and then I put them right sides together, making sure they were both right side up, and I sewed it a 1/2 inch seam alignment, so it kind of took off that 1/2 inch, so I had 16 and 16, making 32. All right, let's get busy here. All right, so I have mine put together, and go ahead, well, I'm not done. You are also going to need 2 pieces, let me turn this over so you can see it better, of 5 inches by 22 inches. I did as long as the width of my fabric, so when I cut it, I could make 2 of them. You have 2 of them. And you are going to take that to the ironing board as well, fold each one in half, press it, and then fold each side into that crease there, and then fold that, and press that. These are going to become your handles, your straps. All right? You're going to then take these over to your sewing machine and sew an 1/8 of an inch down, all the way down of each side. Back stitch at the beginning, back stitch at the end. So you're going to do it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. All right, when you're done, you'll be ready for the next step. So iron and then do your straps. Now that our straps are done, we're going to attach them to the main fabric on the outside. So we need to find the middle. We'll do one side, and then you can then go and do the other side. Match up your fabric, not the interfacing if the interfacing is hanging off, and just kind of press it, find the middle, and you're going to want to mark that. I have a pen here. I don't want to mark far in there. I'm just putting a little dot inside that fold so that when I open it up, that frame there, I can find my mark. My mark is in there. It's really hard to see. Right there is where I drew my dot. Put that on a lid, or you use your ruler, and that will be my center. And I am going to measure out 2 1/4 inches on each side. So my center is there, 1, 2, 1/4 inch here, and then 1, 2, and 1/4 inch here. After you have yours marked, you're going to take your strap, and you have to make sure it's laying nicely for you. All right, and we are going to put the inside edge, and make sure it's going to go around correctly. You don't want to get all twisted on you. And that one's going to go there. And we're going to tack it in with a clip and take it over to a machine and stitch that on and reinforce it. Don't go any bigger than 1/4 inch, all right? Because we're going to be sewing around this at 1/4 inch inseam, and I want to make sure your straps the seam isn't showing there. So go ahead, I have that attached. See how it's going to turn. Do the other end. Find the center, measure 2 1/4 inches out, match up the inner edges of your strap, check it, clip it, sew it. Handles are sewn on. I probably should have told you might want to reinforce that, go over that like a second time or reverse across it, just so it stays strong and attached. I did that at all ends. All right, I'm going to keep those handles inside. They should be fine in there, but we are going to come over with the lining piece now. So now I have my interfacing on the back, my main fabric, right side up, and then my lining, right side down. When it's a solid though, it usually doesn't have a wrong side. All right, and we are going to pin this around. So get yours all lined up. We're going to pin it around, and we're going to create an opening. I'm going to mark an opening here so we can turn it back out. All right, my no sew zone. All right, back stitch, around at 1/4 inch inseam, and then back stitch when you get back to this spot. I had to flatten my handles down, so I had to reach in there and do that. All right, we're up to the next step where you need to clip your corners here. Careful not to nick your threads. And then I take a little bit off. And then after you have your corners all snipped down, we're gonna turn it right side out. I'll come back after I have it all turned right side out. Poke your corners out. You're going to need to go in there through your opening, and we'll get the corners out. I'm going to pull my handle up here a little bit. Give it a good press. All right, I pressed it. I pushed out the seams so they were kind of evened up. That's what it looks like from that side. And now we're going to top stitch all the way around the edges, okay, at 1/8 inch. Let's get that all done. Right, I'm going to lengthen my stitch for the top stitch, and I'm going to sew 1/8 inch all the way around. And I'm going to come back around that corner and just go over that top stitch. I'm not going to reverse. I'm not going to back stitch. Here we go. Top stitching is done, and now we are ready to tuck up the bottom piece. I've marked 2.5 inches on this side. I am just going to take my chalk or whatever, and I'm going to just come across onto the back so I know where that's at. I'm going to do the same thing up here on the top. And you notice I have my right sides together on the inside. This is the right side. This is my lining. Lining should be out on this. All right, I got my chalk there. What we're going to do, I have it clipped, but I want my top edges to be matched up at the top. I don't want one hanging over. They won't be even. So do check that, clip that so they don't move. Once you have those clipped, and I put some other ones in there as well, I am going to come down here, tuck this fold up, and I want to fold on this line going across, and the same on the other side as well. So let's see if we can get those to match up. I have them tucked in there. You can see my little yellow chalk marks. Those are kissing each other. I have this flattened out, and this is a little bit thick down here. See how that works? But we're just gonna sew 1/4 inch down both sides. Sides look like, so you don't have to cut those corners out, make the squares. It just does it automatically, and it can flatten nicely too, like that. You have your handles, and you've just created a nice, easy, quick tote. You can make many variations with this. You can change the handle length, you can change the size of your bag. You can change the fact that if you don't want to do the interfacing to make it a little bit softer, there are so many variations. You can make mini totes, you can make some big totes, but this is a nice quick version on how to do it.
Thank you for joining me for the 12 days of sewing Christmas gifts to give. This last gift, now that you know how to make it, you can make a lot of these, and I think it's self-explanatory. You can use this as a gift bag. You put a gift in there, you can put groceries in there, you can bring wine and dinner for someone. Enjoy. Happy sewing.